Hey, it's Jackster and welcome to this film review on my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing a Goofy movie, 1995. I have loved this movie for years and I would always watch it again and again and again. Sadly, it didn't get a lot of praise when it was first released back in 1995. The movie has garnered a cult following though, and is today considered one of the most underrated animated Disney movies. Now that I'm more of a critic, does this movie still hold up? Let's see. Oh, and just before I continue, my points system for each movie and the way I review them is based off of Electric Dragon 505 and Matt's points system for his reviews and how he reviews his movies, so credit to him for the inspiration. Now let's go! The storyline. The film revolves around the father and son relationship between Goofy and Max heading for disaster as they struggle to find common ground despite Max's persistence in having his own life and winning the girl of his dreams, Roxanne. As a result, the two go on a road trip to boost their father-son bonding relationship. While I have to admit, the plot element of father and son relationships has been done before in other films, I'm going to like this one off because this came out 23 years ago, when it didn't become so obvious and predictable. The good news though is that because this is Goofy's movie, it doesn't lack any of his signature humor and wackiness. Sure, you won't get a lot from him during the first act or so, but you know you're not missing out when it happens. Not only that, the story can actually be quite touching at times, because it explores the story of a growing youth, and it puts the heart in the right place. It might seem a bit basic, but the way it executes the story more than makes up for it. The movie also has a really strong message about the bonding of father and son. It takes it very seriously at times, and it plays out really well. However, the biggest problem with the storyline in my opinion, is that it feels a bit rushed, considering the running time of just 78 minutes. The father-son bond element has been done a few times and the movie could have been a little longer, but the way the story is executed and how touching it is completely wipes away those little nitpicks. I'm going to give the story a 9 out of 10. The animation. Now, this movie was made by the now-defunct Disney Toon Studios, who are responsible for those terrible direct-to-video sequels, so the quality of the animation may experience a bit of a downgrade compared to the usual standard of the Disney animated features of the 1990s like Mulan or Beauty and the Beast. But for what it had went with, the animation actually turned out to be pretty solid. Sure, the character animation can be limited at times, giving the movie a pinch of television quality and the CG used in it can look dated, but for the most part the character animation is well done. The backgrounds are decently detailed and the effects can look pretty nice. The character designs give the film the cartoon it needs for a film with Goofy in it, and it suits the film's wacky humor it delivers. I'd say the biggest highlight of the animation is during when the movie is in the middle of the song, and that is really where the animation can be detailed. Throughout the movie though, I did find a couple of dialogue that wouldn't get lip-synced properly, which, like I said before, gives the film a bit of TV quality. But to be fair, it is a Disney Toon film, and their animation quality usually doesn't come close to the standard of Walt Disney's official animated movies in the lineup. But for what the animation was, I'd say it's a pretty good job. I'm going to give the animation a 8 out of 10. The characters. Oh boy, I've been waiting to talk about these characters. Of course I'm not going to hate on them. Oh, no! All of the characters are actually pretty memorable. Well, except for one, and that would be Max. I don't hate him as a character, but I feel like he's very obnoxious during the second act and too mean-spirited towards Goofy, his father. Goofy himself though really holds a lot of the film's charm and heart. Not only that he isn't one-dimensional like in the cartoons he stars in, but there's actually some more character put into him in this movie, and at times, he can be quite serious, but I can understand why. Roxanne is Max's love interest, and I think would seem like a good one to him. It's just a shame that we didn't see her in an extremely Goofy movie, the sequel to this movie, because it doesn't actually explain what happened with the two. Pete is Goofy's co-worker who Max and Goofy stumble into on their road trip. He provides a lot of wit from his dialogue, which really makes me amused. PJ is Pete's son and Max's best friend, who I really like as a character, But it's a bit of a shame that Pete and PJ's roles in the movie were heavily overshadowed by Max and Goofy's, and I wish they'd have gotten more screen time. I wouldn't really say there's a villain in this movie, but I feel like the most harmful character to Max and Goofy is Bigfoot, who in all honesty is just there for a couple of laughs. As for the other characters like Bobby, Stacy or Principal Mazur, Bobby is pretty entertaining and Principal Mazur puts a bit of tensity in the first act, but Stacy doesn't serve much of a purpose, but just be Roxanne's best friend. There are a lot of other secondary characters that have little purpose, but for the most, they can give out a bit of laughter. I do like Powerline though, who is very similar to Michael Jackson, especially in the way he performs. The voice acting in this movie is really good too. There can be a couple of characters that don't serve any purpose, but they aren't major ones, and the ones that are can really bring a lot of the movie's charm. I'm going to give the characters a 9 out of 10. The musical numbers. There are 6 musical numbers in this movie. After Today, Stand Out, On the Open Road, Lester's Possum Park, Nobody Else But You and I Too I. After Today can actually be quite relatable if you think about it, as it explores the joy of school ending for the summer. It's very catchy and something I actually listened to on the last day of school. Stand Out is performed by Tevin Campbell, Powerline's voice actor. The song is played in the school auditorium by Max, who was dressed up as Powerline at the time as an attempt to impress Roxanne. We hear it again while PJ is cleaning the RV, and it is definitely something you can jam to. On the Open Road has a lot of feeling inside and can be a good encouragement to take a trip out. The lyrics can be funny at times as well. Lester's Possum Park is basically the welcome song to the park of the same name, and quite a good one at that. Nobody Else But You is very heartwarming and explores everything about Max and Goofy's relationship. It could probably be my favorite musical number of the movie right next to Eye to Eye, which is just amazing. Sure, it can feel very 90s, but it does really well at being very 90s. If there's one thing you'll never forget in this movie apart from the characters, it has got to be the outstanding musical numbers. I'm going to give the musical numbers a 10 out of 10. I think that a Goofy movie is a heartfelt, touching and funny road trip movie. It includes a strong storyline with an amazing message, solid animation, memorable characters, great humor, and outstanding songs. It's not perfect. I mean, the film can be rushed, and the animation isn't the highest of qualities, but those are only just nitpicks. I'd recommend this movie to huge Goofy fans, and I bet people who are not Goofy fans might think this is decent too. I can safely say that this is an underrated gem from Disney. Not one of their best, but still great. I've given this movie a total of 36 out of a possible 40 points, which would translate to an overall score of 9 out of 10. If you have seen this movie, give me your thoughts on it in the comments below. If you haven't, comment down below if you want to see it or not. Special thanks to the Disney Wiki for the plot information on this movie. Thanks for watching this review. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, and if you're new to my account, subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of future content I post. Thank you. Goodbye.